We're rolling.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of How to Be a Texan.
How you doing, man?
I'm
doing. You have a little extra spring in your step there.
I do, because I'm a little superstitious about this episode.
Now, what episode is this?
Episode 13, baby. No?
13.
13?
We can't do it 13.
Well, it is what it is.
13's an unlucky number, man. I thought this was episode 14.
I thought you weren't superstitious either.
I think this will be called episode 14.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, whatever.
I mean, I'm not superstitious, but you know,
there's
why
something.
take a risk?
There's something to that Friday the 13th and all that. That's where it came up. So I don't have that today, but that's a big one. So hey, today we got me and Kevin and the Sammy the Laugh Track.
So annoying.
Yeah, no, you killed it, girl. Way to go. So yeah, we got and then our producer Andrew is not here.
He's at a competition.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but regardless,
he's an actual professional, so we're lucky when we get him.
Yeah, he just said, "Kevin, press the red button,"
and I screwed it up immediately. So I did.
I think we'll recover. We're okay. All right, so today we thought it'd be funny just to talk about superstitions in Texas. And again, this can go, does it have to be Texas specific? I don't know. But to me it is. And so let me just start, Kevin, by asking, are you superstitious?
I don't think I am. I will eat black-eyed peas on January 1st every year.
Okay.
Religiously.
All right.
But outside of that, not really.
Okay.
If I walk under a ladder, I don't sweat it.
I'm gonna test you on that one, because I think you're more superstitious than you think.
Maybe I am.
I think you are. And so, like, for example, today I was in meetings all day, all these meetings, and probably 4 times during all these meetings, I heard the term "knock on wood," because and I don't even know what that meant, but they were like, "Oh, or I even heard jinx once today."
Like jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Yeah, like that, because 2 people said it exactly the same time, and they said jinx.
All right, I think you got me. I say knock on wood all the time.
Yeah,
and if it's not even wood, I say knock on, granite or whatever is available. In fact, I think I've done that on this show, actually, in previous episodes.
See? Superstition.
So you got me on that.
I don't even know what knock on wood means, but I hear it all the time.
I don't really know what it means either. But if you say something... it's used when you say something that you're making a definitive statement about, and then you feel like you're jinxing yourself by saying that. Yeah. Like if I said, I ride my bike every Saturday, so this Saturday I guarantee you're going to be seeing me out there on the road. Well, I might say, knock on wood, in case I don't wake up.
And knock on wood throws out the giant disclaimer of I might sleep in.
Well, I think it's not a disclaimer as much as just kind of making sure you're not going to, jinx yourself.
It's the insurance policy.
I guess so, yeah. So maybe I am really superstitious after all. I use that probably 4 times a week, actually.
I'm just saying. I think I want to test you just an honesty check as we go through these. Some of these you're going to think are outlandish and stupid, and no way I'm not that, but I'm telling you, I am, and my wife makes so much fun of me because I'm so superstitious, and I try to play it off. And the older I get, the closer to 100 I get, the less superstitious I am, because I realize how dumb it is. Okay?
But you're getting more senile.
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
So we're replacing superstitions with senility.
Yeah. Now, hey, I did just come up with a magic idea for a future episode. And one of my pet peeves in the business place, and for anybody that's out there that actually works with me knows this, that are kind of consultant words. And so what I'd like to do eventually is come back with a list of my most hated consultancy words.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
The horse is out of the barn, or let's leverage that idea, or
best practices.
Exactly.
I've got a 30-minute stand-up comedy routine on best practices.
Okay. So we should take that.
And I'm not joking.
I'm telling you. We should take the consultant words and then push them into kind of Texas slang.
I would love to do that.
Okay. So anyway.
And we'll do that.
Future.
Knock on wood.
Oh, my gosh.
Knock on wood.
Make me vomit.
We'll do that one. Okay. Hey, man, the horse is out of the barn. We got to do it now. Oh, gosh. The train has left the station.
Please don't. Please stop. Please stop. Okay, so you're saying you're not...
Okay, we'll put it on the back burner.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so a lot of stories about that.
Sorry, that was ADD.
Yeah, okay. So let me give you a little history of why I personally have all these superstitions, and Amy's tried to beat it out of me over the 20 years that we've been married, but she can't do it. I just can't help myself.
It's part of your DNA.
So I'm going to blame, I love my mother, but I'm going to blame her for the majority of this stuff. And then I think it was her mother because of my grandmother on her side. I just remember all this stuff when I was a little kid coming out. And I don't know why, but it's there. So let me tell you some of the things, and then you tell me if you believe, these are good. The first one that I recall is I was like 3 or 4. We were coming back from my aunt's house in South Irving, and it was late at night, and it was just, I think my mom and me and my sister were driving in the car. Of course, I was like in the middle, no seatbelt. I was back in the days of all that.
Those were the great days.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever lay up on in those days, there was a dash over the back seat, too?
Oh, yeah.
You ever lay up there and just kind of soak up the sun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time.
So dangerous. Not a good idea. So anyway, we were driving back. It was probably 9:30, just pitch black at night down this old country road in South Irving, and a black cat runs across our path. Like as we're driving, going 30 miles an hour, literally a black cat just runs across our path. And my mother, sweet soul that she is, she starts throwing out all these profanities, every word that I had never heard before. And then she's like, sorry, I just had to do that because I didn't want us to have bad luck. Because if a black cat crosses your path, you have to cuss to offset the bad luck.
Okay, now, I've heard that if a black cat crosses your path, it's bad luck.
It's offsetted by profanities.
But I'm just wondering if in this moment, because I've never heard that part, I'm just wondering if in this moment when your mom just decided to cuss like a sailor.
She did.
She thought, I got to cover my ass now. I'll just tell little Kyle that you got to do that if a black cat crosses your path to avoid the bad luck.
I don't know.
Maybe it was just a spur of the moment thing.
No, she told me.
You've carried that with you.
No. I asked her. I was so shocked as a 3-year-old.
Well, you never heard your mom cuss before.
No, I had not.
But then she had to carry that lie on for the rest of
my days. And so even today she would say, no, if a black cat crosses your path, you have to cuss like a sailor to offset that bad luck. So
I usually just knock on wood.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the other one that was literally something we had to do was the black-eyed peas on New Year's Day.
Oh yeah.
That was don't mess around with it. Don't even kid around. You have the black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
And so we did. And, I asked my sweet wife, Amy, hey, honey, can we have some black-eyed peas on New Year's Day? And, she's like, I'm not superstitious.
Oh, she never did that.
Well, so I'd go sneak some or whatever because I kind of have to have it. Or
sneaking a can of black-eyed peas.
I don't want to be cursed. So I'd go in a closet or something and feed me and my kids black-eyed peas for the year,
No, that's one thing Kendra and I have always been aligned on.
Okay.
Her family did it. My family did it. It was just without thinking we do black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
And it's just good stuff. And why we don't eat them any other day of the year? I mean, they're really good.
Right.
But
no, they are good.
Yeah. You could eat them anytime.
Hey, speaking of garden talk,
you gonna plant some?
No, I planted some on the new moon day last Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Kathy told me to plant. I planted.
Those will be extra good.
I'm sure they'll die in this next freeze that we've got coming.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, baby. That's so stupid. The other one is my mom would always say, don't open an umbrella inside, even in the garage. She's like, no, that's really bad luck. You don't want to open an umbrella. Did you ever do that one?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
I don't really. I've never been one to use umbrellas, really, quite honestly.
I'm a big fan of the umbrella. I don't like to get my hair wet.
See, I'm the guy that just doesn't plan ahead. I never have an umbrella.
Yeah.
I'm running through the parking lot, showing up soaking wet.
No, they're handy. They're real handy. So then another one, and I don't know if she did it or the kids at school. I think it was kind of the kids at school where you say, if you step on a crack, you're going to break your mother's back. Mm-hmm. Well, I love my mother. I would never crack her back.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
So
I would never step on that.
Even
crack.
Today, I don't step on a crack.
You got me on that one too.
Okay, so see,
I do not step on cracks.
And you're.
And then one of our children one time was intentionally stepping on cracks.
That was me.
It was Sammy.
Oh no, Sammy! And your mom cracked her ribs.
She did.
Up.
See what happened?
Oh, Sammy, you broke 48 of your mom's ribs. Oh.
So it's
all
true.
Those cracks.
That one is true.
Wow. Okay, well, that's too bad. Please don't step any more cracks. Okay, so then there's a couple here about just stuff touching the ground. And this is legit. And so I even saw this, like our little Argyle football games. There's some guys that I'm buddies with, and they're responsible for the flag going up and down. They're vets and awesome dudes. Just love these guys. And they have and I even got to help them this year, kind of the procession of bringing the flag down and holding it. Anyway,
Oh, you did? Oh, that's cool.
well, just to I was kind of a spotter, you know.
Yeah.
They're like
a spotter.
yeah, because and the deal was they were on the ends doing the whole folding, but I was a spotter, and they're like, Kyle, don't let it touch the ground.
Yeah.
And so the whole flag touching the ground, I get that is. And we just looked it up, and that's more of kind of urban legend. That's not really like U.S. law, right? Or Texas law.
It's not. There is a flag code, and I always thought that was part of the flag code.
Yeah.
But in researching this, it's actually just an urban. Well, what we were always told is if the flag touches the ground, then you got to burn it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's definitely that's not part of the flag code.
Yeah.
So you don't want it to touch the ground. That's part
No.
of the flag code. But
Right.
the whole taking the next step of if it does,
Yeah.
you're going to burn it, or you'll be burned at the stake or something.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it's just disrespectful
Right.
if it touches the ground.
right. And
And so you don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's legit. I don't know. That's just
That's
a
not a
kind of
superstition. That's a
common
Flag
American.
code. Yeah.
Be a good American. You just don't
Yeah.
let the flag touch the ground.
Well, and I think the flag code comes from the military flag
Yeah.
code.
Okay. So I'm cool with that. I never, if I have a flag, and I got a flag flying out in my yard, and
Yeah.
it never touches the ground, we're good.
Yeah.
The other one about not touching the ground is the Bible. So I go to church, and my mother always said, "Don't you put that Bible on the ground, boy." And
I
same
never
thing.
heard that one.
No, that was.
I wouldn't necessarily put it on the ground.
Well, I do
but-
now. Like I'm getting up, singing, whatever. I put it on the ground. It's good.
Oh, on the ground of the floor. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like kicking it around in the mud or whatever and disrespecting it. I'm just putting it on the ground so I can get up and sing or whatever.
I use the Bible app on my phone, so it's not even.
See, you're high tech.
Well,
I'm kidding. It's all good. Now my kids do that too. And actually, Amy does that. So, but whatever. I put mine on the ground.
But if I have the app open, I will not set my phone on the ground.
Oh my gosh. And then there's all these, like the numbers, like the 13 and the 666. Those to me are kind of unlucky numbers. And there's legitimate, 666, sign of the devil and all that, or 13, and specifically Friday the 13th. There's a lot of legend around that being a horrific day. Mm-hmm. So I totally buy into that, and I'm superstitious around those numbers. Like when I was growing up playing sports, I never had the number 13. Even though Dan Marino was awesome and cool, and he had it, I didn't care.
But he never won a Super Bowl.
Well, maybe see.
It's because of the 13.
See? So
Yeah, no, I would avoid the 13 as well.
Yeah. And then some old cowboy tricks, and I believe them too because I'd watch John Wayne or whatever, or, again, Lonesome Dove, where those guys would put a lasso around themselves in their saddle when they went to bed at night. And that was just a superstition. And the whole deal is a snake won't crawl over the lasso while you're sleeping. And I think they will. I think they actually will. Maybe it's even inviting. They're like, oh, it's another snake. I'm going to go cuddle up with the other snake.
It's on the saddle and on them?
No. You make a big circle around where you're sleeping with the lasso.
Oh, just on the ground?
Yeah, on the ground. You put a circle around your whole area where you're going to sleep.
That snake's not going to go over.
And the snake won't crawl across it. That's how that's legit. That's a cowboy superstition. And I've always believed that. So anyway, but then I thought it'd be embarrassing but truthful because there's a lot of superstitions in sports. And I, in particular, had a lot of those because I grew up playing sports. And in particular, I was an old
I know you were a pitcher.
I was an old baseball player.
Pitchers are maybe the most superstitious group of them all.
Yes, and I was as nutty as you could get, and so
shocker.
Yeah, there were just certain things that I believed that made me okay. Now I've actually read on this, and they say, well, the coaches don't mind the superstitions because the superstitions themselves help the players to lock in and focus.
I do believe that.
I do too.
And if you watch the best pitchers, even on the mound,
right?
I don't know if you would call it superstition or what, but it comes from the same kind of line of thinking or OCD or whatever it is. But I mean, the best pitchers will do the exact same thing every single time, and it may be as little as touching the brim of their hat for no apparent reason, or touching a part of their face or whatever. I've watched guys do that.
Oh, and the batters too with the gloves. And,
well, that's true. You see that with
their
batters.
Helmet and all that. Pudge Rodriguez used to have the best pre-swing, deal, and it was But so for me, it was even more bizarre than that. And so, for example, on game day, there was a pair of underwear that I had to wear. It had 2 holes in the right butt cheek, Whitey Tighties, and I wore those every game. And if I ever couldn't find them or didn't, I mean, literally the universe was wrong and twisted. I just couldn't function, nor could I pitch or any of that. So it was these Whitey Tighties with 2 holes in the right butt cheek.
Do you still have them?
Yes, I do. No, I don't. No, I don't. No.
Do you wear them every week for this podcast?
I have them on now. No, I don't. Oh, thank goodness I don't have those. I have them framed in my office at home. So I'm kidding.
Framed in the archives.
Yeah. No, I don't. But I had those, and those were kind of my pitching Whitey Tighties, and they were bad. But then again, as I went out, as I pitched, you kind of hop over the chalk line of the third baseline or the first base. You never touch the chalk. I mean, that's a big deal. But then I would have the same routine every pre-inning, and then basically as I addressed the initial batter. And so there was, this just certain, whole thing that I had to do. Like I kind of touch the cap, say this little prayer, kind of lock in, dust off with my right foot, the pitching mound, and then go into my wind-up. And that was kind of what you did. And it worked. It got me kind of locked in and totally focused. And I thought I was amazing, but I was floating up meatballs. But whatever. I enjoyed it and I love it.
Well, that's why I think there's a fine line between the superstition and the OCD.
Oh, yeah.
Because this bleeds into OCD, which I definitely am an OCD person, as you know.
Yeah. So I've gotten better at that over time. I used to have this one thing, and it was total OCD thing and I thought it was a good or bad luck thing. And I got out of it in college when I had kind of the big showers where everybody was in the big showers at Baylor and whatever. And so I couldn't do my OCD thing. And it was all about the way you turned. It was literally, I couldn't complete a turn without reversing back out of that turn, getting in or out of the shower. I'm not kidding. It was that bad. And I thought it would set the universe in the wrong direction if I didn't reverse out of the turn that I just made to turn the water on or whatever.
Right.
I did that for years.
Yeah.
It was problematic.
My thing has always been if I do something or touch something with my right hand, I will then touch it with my left hand.
Oh, to equalize?
Mm-hmm. And that has been an ongoing OCD thing for most of my life.
Okay.
And Kendra will still bust me on it to this day.
Oh.
Because I will unconsciously, we'll be driving, and I will look to her to say something, and my collar will touch. And without thinking, I will turn and touch over here.
It's balance.
Without thinking.
That's what I call feng shui.
Yes.
You have feng shui with your collar.
Kendra busts me on this all the time.
Okay.
My granddad would do things like, and I would just watch him growing up as a kid. When he would be driving, he would stop at a stoplight. He would reach up with his finger curled like this, and he would bump the rearview mirror up 3 times and then reach up and bump it down twice.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the next stoplight, he would reach up.
Yeah.
And just on and on.
That's
and it became this thing where as a kid, you just sit there and you're like, I don't know why Papa's doing that, but he keeps doing it.
There's balance in the force there. Yeah. I like that.
And then as he got older, I wasn't riding with him in his later years, but my brother told me a story of him riding with him, and he would he developed this habit of checking the emergency brake.
Oh yeah.
And so he said he would just be driving, check that, and just and then 30 seconds later, nobody's pressed the emergency. 20 seconds later, checking the thing. So
okay,
it's kind of the OCD.
Yeah.
I think there's something in common between the OCD and the superstitious, and the way that
there is
all comes together.
Yeah,
so.
My dad was big on the emergency brake too. That sucker drove me crazy. I'd get in finally when I was 16. I'd get in a car that he just drove. I'd put it in reverse or drive or whatever, and not going anywhere. Stupid emergency brakes on because he said it every time in every car he got in. Kids nowadays they don't even know what it is.
I borrowed a truck from someone one time, and it was when we lived over in Flower Mound. I was just hauling some dirt or something, and I didn't have a truck at the time, and I borrowed a truck from these people that lived in Highland Village. And I remember when I was returning the truck, I kept smelling like this kind of burning smell.
Oh,
and
no.
I thought it was just, somebody was burning something.
You burned up the emergency brake.
I drove from where we lived in Cottrell in Wellington all the way to Highland Village.
Oh, yeah.
Before I realized, oh, man, the emergency brake's on.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's
so
bad.
I took it off, returned it to the guy. I'm sure he was like, why does my truck smell like it's on fire?
It's all good. Thank you.
Yeah. If I had have had that OCD habit of checking, it would have been fine.
Well,
see, it pays off.
I don't know. But I'll be going back to some of, I think we both have quirky way. You may call it more OCD, but I call them superstitions. I don't have as many of those nowadays. Yeah. I think I've kind of worked my age. I just don't care as much anymore, and I got other stuff to worry about. So anyway, but there are some, so going back to the more general ones, like for example, walking under a ladder. I don't do that.
I don't do it either.
Yeah, that's just bad luck. Why?
Stupid.
Well, yeah. What if something fell that was on the top of the ladder and you're walking? So yeah, but no, it's superstition for me. Even though it's my ladder, and I'm still not walking under it. So anyway, but yeah. So, but then some of the other ones, the rabbit foot bringing good luck. Did you ever carry a rabbit foot around?
Yeah, as a kid, I did.
Yeah,
that was just for fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Poor rabbit.
Yeah.
Where are all these rabbits at that were sacrificing their feet?
I got plenty
for us to have good luck.
I got plenty over there. If you need any. Matter of fact, I just Amy and Luke just went on a walk a little while ago, and Dixie, the dog from next door, went with them, and she brought them a dead rabbit. So we got a dead rabbit over there right now.
I just imagine some factory somewhere where they just are maiming these rabbits, and then they set them free with three feet after they chopped them off and sold the other foot.
Plenty of rabbits. It's fine. And then what about the don't run with scissors? Is that a superstition or just good common sense?
I just think that's common sense.
Don't run with scissors. It's such a bad idea.
See, the way I knew that it wasn't a superstition when I was told that is because it was started with the phrase, "Hey, stupid." Hey, stupid, don't run with scissors. It's not. That's not a superstition. Yeah. That's just,
Or now it's still don't run on the pool deck, but that just makes sense because they're just wipeouts waiting to happen on a pool deck.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a superstition.
Hey, stupid, don't run on the pool deck.
Yeah. So then what about slipping on a banana peel? Is that a superstition?
That happens in Looney Tunes all the time.
It's such a great Three Stooges moment.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen in real life.
Yeah. Me neither.
I would love to. I would love to see that happen.
I kind of would too. And then another cowboy legend is hanging a horseshoe over a door.
Oh, yeah.
And that's seen as good
luck.
Yeah, but then the question is, it has to be a certain way. And I always get confused if it's down or I think it's up.
I think it's up because if the things are down, then your luck's running out, right?
Yeah.
Whereas up, the luck's pooling in there.
See, you're more superstitious than you think.
But I also have heard that just horseshoes in general were good luck.
They are.
Yeah. just in general. I think a horseshoe is kind of like a rabbit's foot.
So
So when I was a kid, I'd walk around with a rabbit's foot on one belt loop and a horseshoe on the other. Turn the appropriate way so that my luck wouldn't run out.
Okay. No.
But I wasn't superstitious, I promise.
That's good. What about this? What about the whole saying of find a penny, pick it up, all the days you'll have good luck? What about like wishing wells and finding pennies or?
Yeah, the wishing well's fun.
Yeah. What about blowing candles out on a birthday cake?
Yeah, I always make a wish on that.
Yeah, Sammy, what about you? You like blowing out birthday candles?
Yeah.
Did your wish come true for this last one?
No.
Okay. Well, it may. It may. If you quit stepping on all those cracks.
That's right.
God, I can't believe you did that. Anyway, and then the other is and these guys on the ticket, they talk about this, about death comes in threes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It is
and I've
crazy.
come to believe that, actually.
Yeah. I think that's hogwash.
But it is a pattern.
Sure is coincidental.
It is.
Yeah. So
famous people die in threes.
That's right. And then what about horoscopes? Do you believe that horoscopes are superstitions?
I think it's a superstition, but I think it's a bunch of bonk.
Yeah, it's pretty bonky.
In them.
Yeah, that's pretty bonky. What about this? What about the chupacabra? I've always wanted to, I wanted to bring that up on our 12 deadliest Texas animals. The chupacabra. For those of you that don't know what the chupacabra is, it is a legendary beast roaming through South Texas.
It's ugly. Looks like a giant rat.
Yeah, a giant rat with giant fangs and claws and all kinds of stuff. You don't want to mess with a chupacabra.
Well, now we're kind of into urban legend territory here.
Yeah.
So OCD, urban legend, superstition are all kind of, maybe of the same
ilk
mental issue.
Yeah, but again, it goes back to my very pliable mind, and I'm open to any of those things.
Kyle, I was cussing because you got to cuss if you see a black cat.
You do?
Okay.
Okay, and then I just let a string of expletives go. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I will tell you another family story about. I had an Uncle Bill, and he's since passed, but what a great man he was. He had a couple of things that he did, and one, he was a great big tall fella, and he had bad knees his whole life. And the one thing that he did is he would spray WD. He was an old carpenter. He'd spray WD-40 on his knees and rub them in. And I'd be like, Uncle Bill, why are you spraying WD-40? And WD-40, he believed WD-40 would fix everything, including his joint pain. And so, yeah, he would rub.
It makes sense, man. If you got a stiff joint, get a little WD-40 in there and loosen it up.
Well, yeah, and actually, I asked one of my orthopedic surgeon buddies that. I said, I told him that. I said, my uncle rubbed WD-40, and he said, well, I promise you the WD-40 is not helping him. But the actual rubbing of the joint,
that's what's doing it.
It is. That's what's helping him. And then the other thing is he said that, my Uncle Bill said, well, when my knees hurt, I know rain's coming.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that a lot. Yeah, I do believe that, actually.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Yeah. And so
change in barometric pressure affecting your joints. I think that really happens.
Yeah. 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 So that's it.
Now, what about the full moon? Speaking of weather.
Yeah, that's bad luck.
That is people get funky under a full moon. I mean, I don't have any scientific evidence for this.
No.
But with my wife being a teacher,
right.
She definitely sees behavior patterns around the full moon.
Right.
Every single time. So there's got to be something to it.
Well,
more than just superstition.
I think there is, vampires or whatever. I don't know.
Wolfman.
Chupacabra. Something.
Chupacabra.
I tell you what, we may have had a herd of chupacabras outside of my house the other day, because I'm telling you, 3 nights ago, I was sitting there, everybody is dead asleep in my house, and I was just sitting there reading or whatever. And, I know what I was doing. I was watching, I was streaming Netflix on my iPad. It was amazing. It was a personal festival. It was amazing. Anyway, reference for a future episode. Listen to festivals and then come back to this comment. You'll laugh. So I was listening and I was just into my own thing. And then I hear I mean, it sounded like they were outside of my house. It was just a little pack of coyotes, and they were yelping at each other, and I was slightly downwind. Man, they were so loud and annoying. Scary.
Was it a full moon?
No, it was a waning gibbous or something.
Wow.
I don't know what it is. I got a buddy, Mark. He knows all that stuff. I can't ever remember what they are, waxing or waning gibbous or whatever else. So, anyway. So, what do you think about that? Do you think there's some legitimacy to superstitions?
The best part about this episode is
the whitey tighties with the 2 holes in it.
It's even deeper than that.
Oh, okay.
We had an episode previously where one of a professional in the medical field questioned my mental capabilities.
I question my own every day.
Dr. Middlebrook. I'm dedicating this episode to Dr. Middlebrook so that he can now understand the mental infirmity on the other side of the desk that I deal with every week.
It's there. I admit it. It's there. I come with a lot of baggage. So, anyway, if you're superstitious and you have common problems with me, I'd love to hear all about it because I live with it and I try to, not succumb to it as much as I can, but it's still there.
No, I think it's a combination of, some things that may have happened coincidentally in the past, and then they kind of get handed down as urban legends and become, folklore that are passed down from generation to generation. And then
that's right.
Other things like the full moon or the joints hurting with the weather, maybe there's some legitimacy to that, but they then get kind of over-analyzed or overplayed and bundled in as well. So
but stepping on a crack to break your mother's back, I'm not sure about that one. Finding a penny, I don't know about that.
Well, back in the day, the penny was a lot.
Well, I know.
Not so much anymore.
Man, one time I found a $10 bill when I was about 10 years old. Man, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
I didn't know
you had good luck for the rest of the day, didn't you?
Well, I sure did. I came home and Mother said if there's somebody around I could give it to. And I'm like, no, I didn't see anybody. Of course, I didn't want to give it back to him. Anyway, that's good fun. All right, well, hey, thank y'all for listening today to our Superstitions. And and is there a creaky door? Is that a superstition?
That is a superstition. That's actually my joints. I need to rub some.
It must be raining.
Need to rub some WD-40
It's raining in Peru.
You getting WD-40?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I always do. Got duct tape. All right. Well, y'all take care and listen to us on, let's see, iTunes,
Spreaker, Google Play. Leave us a review. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Y'all take care.
Adios.